Good afternoon and welcome to the 3 o'clock Sarasota County School Board meeting. Will everyone please rise, remove your hats, as well as turn off your cell phones. We'll have the presentation of colors by the Riverview High School Junior ROTC cadets, and then please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. We'll now have the Pledge of Allegiance by Riverview High School Student Representative Sophia Bruno Alves.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. Our student representative today is Sophia Bruno Alves from the Riverview High School. As a proud alumnus, we welcome Sophia. It's nice to have you join us today as our student representatives. If you would, please tell us a little bit about yourself and your future plans.
Hi, my name is Sophia Bruno Alves. I am a senior at Riverview High School. A little bit about me, I would like to talk about two of the programs that I'm really involved in at Riverview, and I'm really proud to be part of them. JRTC is one of them. I am the executive officer of ROTC, and I'm basically second in command. Some of my responsibilities in ROTC is human resources, risk management, training, logistics, public affairs, community service, and funding. And I do all of that to support 130 cadets with two of my other commanders in ROTC, the BC and the CSM. I'm really proud of being in that program and a wonderful instructor, Sergeant First Class Dawson. He's also here with us, so thank you so much. I also want to talk about IBCP. Riverview offers an IB program, and two of them is IB Diploma and IBCP, the career pathway. And one of the instructors, the coordinator, also here, Miss Bees, wonderful instructor. She helps guide most of all the students in the program for our future after high school. And within that career pathway, I obviously picked ROTC, so I was able to blend both of the programs academically and my extracurriculars, and the skills that I've learned throughout high school is thanks to both of those instructors, so I'm very thankful for both of them. And because of that, I was able to become senior board president using all of those skills and being a class president for Riverview. After high school, I am going to get a biochemistry degree in college. I'm currently doing college applications right now, and my dream is to become a doctor in the medical field. So that's my goal for after high school.
Well, that is awesome.
Thank you so much.
Well, I'd like to thank you, as the board would, for serving as our student representative. Previously, I presented you with a certificate of our appreciation. And again, we hope and wish you all the best at your college choice. I know it's still early. I know you'd like to go to Florida State University, even if you don't want to. But I do appreciate that you, and going on to being a doctor, that's one of the things that we absolutely need in our community. So hopefully you'll end up coming back here because of everything great that's happened here at Riverview. So thank you again. I also would like to thank our STAR students, which is students taking active roles from the Boys and Girls Club. If you guys would please stand up, be acknowledged today. You can go ahead and be seated. After our board meeting tonight, the STAR students will be able to ask the superintendent and the board different questions as it relates to education or just in general. So we appreciate having them there. The STARS program has been around for a long time. And it's really, really one of the programs that is really great for mentoring, especially for students that are going to be moving on. They get to ask a lot of questions and see what their future endeavors may end up turning to. So with that, Superintendent Connor, your report, please.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, board. Good evening, community. Good evening, everyone. It's great. We have started off the first 2 weeks of school very successfully, and I want to thank all of those who have been involved in that, from staff to our parents, getting your students up after staying up all late over the summer. I know how hard it is to get back into a routine, but we had a great start, even despite many of the challenges that so many people are still facing regarding Hurricane Debbie. So I want to say our thoughts are with everyone who are still facing those challenges. I want to remind our staff and our community that we do have resources to connect you with. If you have not taken advantage of that, to please reach out to your supervisor. If you are one of the employees of Sarasota County Schools, they have information to help you get connected to the right resources, as well as our community. We will connect you. If you call us, we will get you in touch with our social workers and our student support services to get you connected to any resource needed. So still want to acknowledge that we are dealing with that, but despite that, our educators have really done a phenomenal job in launching a great start of the school year. So I want to highlight a few things in the superintendent's report. As usual, consent agenda highlights. We have a contract between the Museum of Science and Industry out of Tampa that is partnering with our middle schools to provide 12 after-school sessions for about 240 of our students to really engage and extend their learning in science. These are very engaging in terms of hands-on, lively lab field experiences to really enrich them around the nature of science, which sometimes can be a very complex topic for students. So we're really glad about that partnership. Really important, as we move into the fall, I want to make sure that our community is aware of the upcoming referendum on November 5th. This is the first time that the referendum in over 20 years, our community has continued this referendum that has supported our schools for 20 consecutive years, but this is the first time that this is actually coming to vote on a general ballot, and that's really important for our community to understand. And so as we move into the fall, you're going to hear a lot more about the referendum, the benefits that it has supported our school district in so many different ways, from whether that's recruitment and retention and maintaining high-quality staff here, developing workforce pathways, preserving the arts and music programs in our school district, safety and security measures that have been put in place. The referendum touches almost every aspect of our school district. So it's important for the community to be reminded about what it does to help support our school district and why that continuation is being proposed on this ballot. So we want to make sure that you participate in one of our community forums. The first one is going to be at Venice High School on August 29th from 6 to 7 p.m. So those in the Venice area, we're asking that you come out and learn more about and ask questions regarding the referendum. And then we'll be at just about every high school across the district all the way through October. As you see, September 10th at Pineview, September 12th at Riverview, September 18th at Northport, October 8th at Sarasota High, October 10th at Booker High School. So please come out and learn about why the referendum is so important to our school district. Want to remind everyone about the Bradenton Martyrs Fan Appreciation Night, which is Saturday, October 31st. The gates open at 5 p.m. and the game starts at 6:30. It is at the Lecom Park in Bradenton, Florida. And all the proceeds actually help go to support Sarasota County Schools. So please go out and have a good time. So we're launching our second Coffee with Connor event. Our first one was held here at the Landings, right over here, and it was very successful. We had about 30 people in attendance. We're going to continue that series as we move down to the Northport area. We're going to be hosting a Coffee with Connor. It's really just an open forum to ask any burning questions that you have, learn about some of the initiatives that are going on within the school district. And again, we'll talk about the referendum. But these are great opportunities to have a little bit of a smaller setting to ask questions that you may have regarding the operations of our school district. And that's going to be at the Shannon Staub Library, which is a part of the STC Northport campus, from 9 to 10:30 a.m. on September 19th. Look forward to seeing you there. So I want to share a little bit and give a reminder about our communication platforms we call Rooms. To date, we've only launched this about 3 weeks ago. We have 65% of our parents and guardians that have an active account. That is tremendous. So congratulations to our communications department, who've really been spreading the word and getting people to understand the importance of having that communication directly with teachers, with the district. So 65%, that's over 22,000 accounts that have been activated, and our teachers are getting up to speed on that as well. So we have almost 7,000 classrooms published. If you still need to know how to get access to Rooms, we have a step-by-step guide on our website. So we're asking to go there and find out more information. It's very easy to set up, and you'll be glad that you did. And as we know, we had a primary election yesterday, and we want to congratulate two individuals who will be serving on the board. Mr. Tom Edwards, congratulations. And Ms. Liz Barker. So look forward to working with you over the next 4 years. And that concludes my report.
No, there's one more. Liz Barker. Liz Barker.
Yeah, oh, you didn't hear it. You were cheering. You were cheering.
Yes, and congratulations to Mr. Edwards and Ms. Barker in reference to winning of their elections, and look forward to working with them for the next two and hopefully more. We'll be moving on. Thank you, Mr. Connor, for your report. We're going to be moving on to the agenda items in reference to hearing of citizens. During this process, each speaker will state their full name. We'll have up to 3 minutes. A timer signal will when 1 minute remains, a signal will show up. I believe it's right under, well, it's somewhere down here. Audience members are requested to listen quietly and respectfully. Please no outbursts. Please stay orderly. During this piece, if you would still stay to the agenda item, I would ask, with our first speaker is going to be Christy Carwatt and then Carol Lerner. If Ms. Carwatt would be able to come forward. I would ask you, though, if you would have a specific agenda item, and I know today that you listened to the board workshop, so I would respectfully, if you would do it during general comments or come back when we post it, because it needs to be specific agenda as per the new policy.
I didn't know the numbers on the policies on charter schools.
Yeah, and I believe that was just a today's at the workshop. I don't believe we have anything tonight. All right, thank you. But obviously, you can come and speak at it again, just to stay consistent. And then Carol Lerner will be speaking on agenda item number 5. Thank you.
Thank you, and good afternoon. I looked at the Geodes for Great Minds supplemental reading material as described in agenda item 5. From exploring the material on the Great Minds website, I was impressed with its use of the Wilson language training model, which was a well-utilized model in the special education school district where I earlier worked in New Jersey. The books were colorful, nicely illustrated, and what looked like engaging stories for young readers. That said, I think it is important to put any curriculum geared to struggling readers in the context of what causes these struggles in the first place. As many of you know, I have been a strong advocate of the community school model because I believe it addresses poverty and the struggles that so many of our families face today in this complex and increasingly unequal world. I am hopeful that with the school board election behind us, the board can settle down and tackle the big problems like the reason so many of our students are not achieving at grade level. My wish list for the school board regarding student achievement includes: 1, developing full-service community schools at our Title I elementary schools with non-Title I schools partnered to a community school so that all elementary schools can eventually take advantage of the services. Since I spent a year of my life trying and almost succeeding in bringing this model to the district, I would love to partner with the school board and district on this project. We already have a completed application, which, though now obsolete, will give us a head start. 2, establishing dual language immersion classrooms for English language learners, in not only Spanish, but in Ukrainian and Northport and any other emerging language. Our own Dreamers Academy has proven that this model works, and studies have demonstrated that this is a win-win model, both for English language learners and mono-English learners. They excel academically, and students end up being truly bilingual, an important skill in today's multicultural society. 3, implementing a quality, innovative ESE model. I was glad to see this on the workshop agenda. I didn't get to see it yet, and I look forward to listening to the discussion. 4, expanding early childhood education within the district and in a renewed partnership with community providers, including expansion of quality infant toddler programs. If we can begin to implement the above, we will come a long way to truly solving achievement and opportunity gaps. Thank you.
Thank you. Just to make sure, Ms. Carwatt, do you have any other item you'd like to speak on? No. Okay, thank you. I believe it'll be on the agenda, Mr. Parento, September 3rd. Thank you. Any additions or corrections to the agenda, Mr. Superintendent?
Yes, sir. An addendum was added to item 3, the instructional classified personnel report.
Thank you. I need approval for the consent agenda in the motion.
I move we approve the consent agenda as amended.
Motion by Ms. Ziegler. Do I need a second? Second by Ms. Marinelli. Any comment? Seeing none, please vote. Motion carries 4-0. Moving on, we are now moving into the new business. Item 27 will be new policy 5.801, name, image, likeness, also known as the Florida NIL. Do I have a motion?
I move that the new policy 5.801, name, image, and likeness be approved as presented.
Second by Ms. Marinelli.
Is this new business?
Yes.
Don't we need to do we not have public comment to the general portion of it?
That's at the move to the end.
Oh, okay, I see. I'm sorry.
Any comment in reference to the motion and the second on policy 5.801?
Chair,
Mr. Connor?
or Vice Chair, so the policy here, I just want to give a context for what item we're actually talking about today. This is a policy which provides a framework for what student athletes can and can't do regarding compensation. There is now the legal ability for students to be compensated based off their name, image, and likeness, based on the FHSAA bylaws. This includes information about what they can and can't use, the activities that they can do, or what they can't do. We did review this policy on our June 18th board workshop. We have gone through the 28-day advertising period. The state board just recently approved their policy on July 24th, and we made some minor changes based on what was clarified from that meeting with the DOE. And we've also put together a one-pager that we now have on our website that really explains to our community about the do's and the don'ts and related to this NIL concept, as well as we've trained our athletic directors and principals on the concept as well. So that's where we're at with this. This, again, is something that has just recently been approved here in the state of Florida. I think we're one of the leading school districts right now with a policy in place And we will continue to monitor this to see how it is implemented across our district and make adjustments as necessary.
Thank you, Mr. Connor. We have a motion by Ms. Ziegler and a second by Ms. Marinelli. I'll ask again any comments reference to this new policy. Seeing none, please vote. Motion carries 4-0. Next item of new business is item 28, which is the approval of the 24-25 five-year capital improvement plan. Superintendent Connor, please.
Yes, thank you. So our five-year capital improvement plan really establishes the district's budgeting priorities related to facilities and capital projects from 24-25 all the way through 2028-29. So we did bring this and got direction from the board back in May on the May work session. And so we are now bringing it for official approval tonight. And just as a side note, just it is a living document and can be adjusted as needed based on any circumstances that may arise.
Thank you, Superintendent Connor. May I have a motion?
I move that the 24-25 five-year capital improvement plan be approved as presented. Excuse me.
Motion by Ms. Ziegler, second. Second by Ms. Marinelli. Any comments? Ms. Ziegler?
Thank you. I just wanted to thank the team for this work. It is a lot of work that goes into it if anyone has the opportunity to look through it. But I know that there were certain priorities, particularly the farm project and McIntosh, that understanding there's a lot of moving parts and a lot of priorities all at one time. But I appreciate the superintendent and the team listening to the response and priorities of the board and replacing that as a priority. So just wanted to highlight that.
Thank you. Any further comments? Seeing none, please vote. Motion carries 4-0. And that concludes our new business. Next, we are moving into hearing of citizens and the general comments. Each speaker will state their full name and shall confine the remarks of the business of the board. Each speaker will have up to 2 minutes. A timer will I know I speak a little bit long, but that's kind of rude. A timer will signal when 1 minute remains. Please conclude promptly when the timer ends. Please address your comments to the board, not to the audience. Abusive language, personal attacks, disruptive behavior will not be tolerated. As a reminder, you do receive 2 minutes. So first one is previous school board member Shirley Brown. And then on deck will be Cindy Efron.
Thank you, board members. A few months ago, this board considered a resolution to oppose the newly adopted Title IX rules, adding transgender to the group of people given protections from discrimination. Many students and adults, including me, spoke up against it during public comment, but you adopted it anyway, even against the advice of your attorney. Why would you bring up such a controversial issue that you knew would cause disruption and cause hurt and harm to those who these new rules were designed to protect? Could it be just to gain political points with their base of voters who don't truly understand the issue? The answer is yes. Clips of comments made by citizens at this podium were posted on Facebook, trying to generate fear among those voters who didn't understand. We saw mailers and TV ads claiming that those who favored the new rules supported men using girls' bathrooms. It struck a chord, but we do not allow men, transvestite, or gay, straight, transgender, drag queens. We don't allow adults to use student bathrooms. They're for students. And I think it was wrong to use this place to try to get political points. And I hope that you will learn to understand the difference between transgender and transvestite. Transvestites do it for pleasure or performance. Transgender is because they don't max what they feel inside with what they project outside.
Cindy Efron, and then Tamara Solom.
Good afternoon, School Board and Superintendent. My name is Cindy Efron, and I live in Nokomis. I retired from Sarasota County Schools in March of this year, and I would like to congratulate Tom Edwards on his reelection and also Liz Barker on her victory over Karen Rose. Karen had previously expressed that she was tired of seeing the same faces at these board meetings, so I thought I'd hook her up by showing up. So much has already been said regarding her tenure on the school board, so I only have 2 words left. Good riddance. What I really came to say today is why. Bridget Ziegler, why are you still sitting on that dais? You have caused so much harm to so many Sarasota County residents, myself included. You see, 2 years ago, about a month after you gleefully stood beside Governor DeSantis while he signed the Don't Say Gay law, I celebrated my 63rd birthday at the Venice Pride Festival. I am a staunch friend, ally, and supporter of all humanity, including the LGBTQ+ community. A stunning queen learned that it was my birthday and we had a dance. Oh, I had so much fun. That is until a couple days later when your online hate group, the Sarasota Transparency Project, outed me on their Facebook page. In the comments, someone said that I should be fired from my position and shouldn't be allowed to work with children. That was followed up with one of your Moms for Liberty public speakers trying to tell the board at a meeting that I should be fired. To say that I was terrified is an understatement, and I was only given a tiny glimpse of how members of the LGBTQ community must feel as a result of your hateful rhetoric. I received support from the SCTA and Tom Edwards, who was so kind and so supportive, and his words and actions helped me to assuage the fears that I had. Bridget, please, if you truly care about Sarasota County Schools, just resign. Please step aside and make room for someone who will govern with kindness and will actually represent every student every day. Thank you.
Just as a reminder, please, within the audience, no laughing and joking. Please have respect for everybody who comes up here, no matter what their viewpoint is. I would appreciate that. Thank you very much. Tamara Solom, thank you. And then next up will be Sally Sells.
Hi, I'm Tamara Solom. I am a proud mom of 2 Booker graduates. I have no paper, no phone. I am speaking spontaneously today to say congratulations, Tom. Congratulations to Liz. And this is a day that we are celebrating as a community. We should be positive and optimistic about our future. I feel it's really important that our community needs to understand that this was an election that was won not on hate, but on happiness and on integrity and on passion and on communication skills and positivity and ethics. As Sarasotans, it's important that we come together after this horrible hurricane. You saw the videos, you saw community coming together to help each other. That's who Sarasota is. Sarasota are people driving through flooded streets to get people backpacks and school supplies and food and all sorts of protections from these elements. That's who Sarasota is. We are a loving community. We are a good community. We're not Democrats and Republicans. This was a nonpartisan race. And if you look at the statistics, it was Democrats, independents, non-party affiliated people, and Republicans who voted for Liz and for Tom. Because we're done with the hate and the rhetoric and the lies, and we want passion. We want putting our children first. Liz said, community over chaos, and Tom is for celebrating students' achievements and making sure that the academics are equal across the board for all students. That's what you all are for, right? So I can't wait to have coffee with you, Mr. Connor. I had COVID the last time, and I'm here as a student of USF, as going to be a counselor, and I will be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Sally Sells, and then Xander Moritz.
Well, hello everyone. It's been quite a while since I've been able to attend a school board meeting due to one thing and another, but thankfully my schedule opened up yesterday and today. My name is Sally Sells. I'm a mother of a now middle schooler in the Sarasota County School District. I'm trying to keep my emotions in check, but due to an extreme lack of sleep and a skosh too much rosé last night, we'll see how it goes. Let me just start off by thanking our community, thanking the voters for showing up, turning out and casting their votes to return sanity to the Sarasota County School Board. Congratulations to you, Tom. I am thrilled for you. I am thrilled for us. And Liz, I know you're not here. There are just no words, but welcome. And I wish your husband a very happy birthday. I'm so thankful that Sarasota showed the state and the country who we truly are in this district. I'm excited to move forward and remove the drama, the politics, and the scandals, and every other thing we've had to go through in the past few weeks or few years. Karen, even though you are not here, I will address you as I think you may be watching. You ran one of the most despicable, disgraceful, and hateful campaigns I've ever seen. You posted lies on social media. You posted pictures of my friend that could have put her and her family in some very serious danger. And when any of us responded, even if our words were kind, you deleted our comments and then blocked us from all your social media accounts. You bought a shiny new condo so you could live in the district that you ran in. You were pretty much fully funded by yourself, your husband, the developers in the area. But Sarasota, the people of Sarasota County said no. We said no to your hatred, no to your divisiveness, and no to your drama. We said yes to kindness, because kindness counts. Oh my God, I'm gonna get through it. But this is all not bad news for you, Karen, because you can finally rent out your condo that you've been pretending to live in and maybe recoup some of the money that you spent on your hateful campaign. You can also run for Miss Ziegler's seat in 2 years so we can say no to you all over again. Finally, there's a lady that shows up and constantly prays for us, and we appreciate that. She told us that if all of us showed up, voted twice, and took a friend with us, we would never win an election again. We just pray that.
Thank you. Thank you. I would just ask you, please make sure that you do it to the board, not to people who are not in attendance. I'm running the seat. I see some people out there looking. Please just keep it to there. Thank you. I appreciate it. Xander Moritz.
Over the last 10 months, Sarasota students have worked so hard. They've knocked so many doors. They've called so many phones. They've hosted so many meetings. They've come to so many of these meetings. They've held so many community conversations. They've registered and talked to so many voters. They've done so much to try to convince the voters here to put students before politics. And that is all that we need to do with this board as well. There doesn't need to be any beef or any drama. We can just be a community that continues to work together to put students before politics. That's what our voters have shown matters to them. They did not vote with party affiliation. They voted for the candidates that showed them what they meant. And I'm excited for our future. I think Sarasota is changing. I think Sarasota is stepping up to put our students first. And I think there's a lot of potential for the community and this board to work together to make sure that our students are successful and that they're safe and that they're happy. I'm happy. Yeah, I think that's it. I think there doesn't need to be a big moment. I think there just needs to be more work that puts our students first. Thank y'all.
Thank you. Anya Dennison, and then Lisa Schur.
Hi y'all, I'm Anya. I'm a graduate of Sarasota Schools. I hope that as the school year has begun and as change comes to this board, that y'all are feeling more open to listening to the students that have been speaking here for 10 months. Your students have been telling you how you can meet their needs, and you haven't succeeded. Your students and families are working so hard to make sure that this board is one that protects and supports them because you haven't been willing to do that work in this room. Sarasota students and families want a board that supports them. So as your students tell you about the implications of your actions and tell you what they need to see happen here, please begin to act with your students in mind. Thank you.
Thank you. Elisa Schur, and then Paulina Testerman.
My name is Lisa Schur. I'm the mother of a graduate and I'm a resident of Sarasota County. I'm ill-prepared today. It was a late night last night. Congratulations, Tom. Thank you for focusing on what really matters, which is the students. I'd like to address my comments to Ms. Marinelli and Mr. Enos. Although I've given you a hard time, on occasions I do believe that you give a damn about our students. So I'm going to ask you now to work with us to improve the education that is given to all of our students. When we started Support Our School 3 years ago, We did it with the goal of protecting public education. But you and your minions made it all about culture wars. So we had to fight back, or we're done. We're done with you. We want to concentrate on the education of our children because that is what's important. So I extend my hand to you. I extend the olive branch. Let's work together. Let's get the politics out. Brennan Asplin nailed that one. We've got to get the politics out of the school board. Let's concentrate on the education of our children. Thank you.
Thank you. Paulina Testerman, and then India Miller.
Good afternoon. My name is Paulina Testerman. Last night on my drive home from the election watch party, I started to map out my speech for today. I was admittedly full of renewed excitement and hope, and I couldn't wait to get the words on paper. But when the excitement finally died down and I lie in bed reflecting on how we got here, I recognized something really profound. That we all stand before an amazing opportunity. We stand at the precipice of change, of growth, of unity, of community. Last night, our citizens came together and spoke out of their proverbial megaphone and made it clear that they will not tolerate hate, lies, bigotry, and baseless personal attacks. Regardless of whether you have a D or an R or an NPA at the end of your name, we all agreed on the same thing last night, that hate has no home here in Sarasota. So where do we go from here now that the ringleader of the most disgusting hate-filled campaign I have ever seen in Sarasota has been voted out? We rebuild from the ashes that Karen Rose left behind. And we do that by removing politics from public education. We beg this board to start leading with integrity, humility, and respect. Listen to your hearts, listen to your gut. But for the love of mankind, stop listening to those who have something to gain from your votes. They are using you to push their own agenda. We have but one legacy to leave on this earth. Don't make the mistake that Mrs. Rose made. Don't sell your soul to the highest bidder, even if the bidder is your very own husband or your very own campaign treasurer. Ladies and gentlemen of the board, it is never too late to do the right thing. And lastly, to the students, teachers, and citizens of Sarasota County, there are no words to express our sheer appreciation for what you did. You stopped a political bulldozer. Thank you to the many of you who crossed the aisle to choose the best candidate for the job instead of voting along party lines. That is the definition of integrity. On closing, let us recognize and reflect on the fact that a healthy public school system is neither red nor blue, but rather a deep and rich shade of purple.
Thank you. India Miller and Dr. Theoni Sublis.
Set a timer for 2 minutes. Sorry, just... Okay, there we go. By now you know I'm India Miller. I respect the people that are here that want to heal, that don't want a moment. When the chair of the school board posts me personally and calls me a man in a dress, when I pay her salary, it's personal, and I want a moment. I suck at being a man because I'm not one, but I thought I'd give you a dress. But of course, she's not even here. I'm not shocked. You know, failed, brutal dictators have a history of not showing up at the end. We find them in bunkers. I'm not at all surprised she's here. What I'm surprised by is, Bridget, why are you here? You too have put the lives of transgender people in danger. You too, and the rhetoric and the hate of your Stop Moms for Liberty have led to children dying. Absolutely, no matter what you want to say, no matter how much you want to shake your head smugly, you're responsible. You're responsible today, you're responsible tomorrow. People who vote for you, they're responsible. Tom, Robin, I know people who know you that used to say, I don't know what happened to them. I think you climbed on the wrong train. You know, I didn't think that Liz Barker could win. I thought Tom could because he's had a chance to prove himself and he's an amazing school board member. So I hope this is a moment, where you're like, well, that bridge I thought I'd never have to cross is here. I am outraged that Karen Rose can even be employed after calling me a man in a dress, calling me crazy. Well, I'm crazy like a fox because I chose the right candidate. Sarasota doesn't stand for hate. Queer kids, gay kids, trans kids, you are safer today in this town. Black kids, brown kids, we're going to teach the real history. We're going to teach that slaves didn't benefit from slavery.
Thank you. Dr. Sobolis, and then Rana Bazzini.
Good afternoon. Hi, I'm Dr. Theoni Sublis, 30-year educator and mother of a 10th grader at Riverview. I wanted to extend my congratulations to Tom Edwards and Liz Barker for their well-fought campaigns and their wins last night. We're very appreciative of the campaigns that you ran. And when I say extend our congratulations, I'd like to talk about the network that I'm a founder of, so that you're aware of how many people are extending their congratulations to you. Our formal partners are, I'm just going to read you this list: Support Our Schools, League of Women Voters, Girls Inc. of Sarasota, Families for Strong Public Schools, Protect the A, Families for Strong, Suncoast Women of Action, Also Youth, NAACP of Sarasota, Delta Sigma Theta Incorporated Sorority of Sarasota Manatee Chapter, and the American Association of University Women. That encompasses hundreds of our local community members who are extending their congratulations to both Tom and Liz's win. And it's not just our formal members that came behind this election, but it is also other grassroots organizations, including Sea Alliance, including Equality Florida, including Project Pride, and so many individual members that are not affiliated with groups but have a passion for what is going on in our community, which is keeping our kids safe and keeping our kids first and foremost beyond politics. So my big message today is to say thank you. My second message today is say we are ready to pass this referendum. You heard the list of organizations and people that are in support of what we're doing in Sarasota. All of these organizations are behind the referendum, and we are ready to work. We're going to pass that referendum in this community, and we're going to get the money into this community because so much money has already been wasted, needlessly wasted. We need this referendum to pass to continue to protect our students. We also have an organized effort to keep our elections nonpartisan. We saw what happened last night because people crossed party lines. Thank you.
Thank you. Rana Bazzini, then Christy Carwatt.
Good afternoon. My name is Rana Bazzini, and I'm a resident of Sarasota. It looks like we have survived another contentious election. As with all elections, some will be celebrating and some will be commiserating. The point is, the people have spoken. We have a choice. We can continue to be divisive to the detriment of the whole purpose of a school board, or we can work together to fulfill our mandate to address the needs of every student every day. For 7 years, we've seen contentious elections, the firing of superintendents, a COVID epidemic, hurricanes, the arise of culture wars. We need a break. Our students need a break. Our teachers and our staff need a break. Our community needs a break. I hope I'm not being overly optimistic to think that the time has come, once again, the Sarasota Public School Board will focus on its mission, strengthening our public schools. Let's work together. Compromise is not a four-letter word. And don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. Please, let's return to boring school board meetings.
Thank you. Christy Carwatt, then Elizabeth Bornstein.
Good afternoon. I am Christy Carwatt, former Sarasota High School teacher, a parent of 2 graduates of Sarasota High School, the wife of a Riverview graduate and a 41-year resident of Sarasota. I feel bad because I'm a teacher and I'm not prepared, but I've been home cleaning out from the flood, meeting with different contractors and this and that, so I didn't think I was going to be able to make it today. But I had to come because I am so excited. I am so thrilled that we have Tom Edwards again on the board, and I am thrilled that we're going to have Liz Barker. It's time that we stop fighting culture wars. It's time we look at our students, their achievement levels, and focus on them, because that is what we're here for. That's what my career was all about. It was the students. It wasn't me. It wasn't my political persuasion. It was what was best for each and every student that came into my classroom. And that's what your job is as well. So as we move forward, I was going to talk about charter schools earlier. I'm a little bit concerned because I think there's misunderstanding about what each board member's job really is. I heard Ms. Ziegler said that she's responsible for all the students in Sarasota, but you're on the public school board. I think your job is to be concerned. You can look at somebody and make little smirks, but that's okay, because I have an opinion, you have your opinion. I think your job is to be looking at the best interests of the public school students. You know, let the private schools take care of their kids. Let the charter schools take care of their kids. You were elected to take care of the public school children, and that is your role. And I think that's what Mr. Edwards is kind of thinking about, because I don't want to ask people to pay extra taxes so a for-profit charter school can earn more money and have more money in their pockets. So we really do need to think about that, because we need that referendum to maintain our quality schools. And if people think it's going to somebody else's pocket.
Thank you. Elizabeth Bornstein, and then Carol Lerner.
Greetings, Superintendent, board members, board attorney. I'm Elizabeth Bornstein. I'm a parent of a student in the district and a real advocate for public education, for public health, for my community. I've been a taxpayer for 26 years here, and I really want to stress that despite any rain, it's a sunny day in Sarasota. So incredibly grateful. Thank you to all who voted and supported that hate will no longer live in our community, or at least not on Sarasota County School Board. Thank you, big thank you to Tom Edwards and Liz Barker for persevering through a really painful, contentious time during this race. It's not a race. They won, thankfully, but truly the real winners are the Sarasota County school students, the teachers, the staff, the administrators, the parents, the taxpayers, and all of us. Hate should not live in our schools. It should not live here in the dais. And it's been really ugly and so full of hate. I look forward to a new day and a new beginning for us to really focus on what matters most: education, learning opportunities, growth and development for our children, our community's children, and they are our future. And a really big shout out to all the students and former students who stepped up to help get that message really clear for all of us. It's about the future. It's not about political agendas. No more politics here, please. And thank you.
Thank you. Carol Lerner, and then Dr. Sonia Howman.
Good afternoon. Carol Lerner, one of the directors of Support Our Schools. When I was getting dressed this morning, I had a wardrobe crisis. I pondered, what should I wear? For nearly 8 years, I've been wearing either a Protect Our Public Schools t-shirt or a Support Our Schools t-shirt. And I thought, well, we won. I don't have to wear this. But then I thought, as happy and as excited as I am for Tom to win this and for Liz Barker to beat Karen Rose, this is really just a new beginning. And here I am in my Support Our Schools shirt. And I probably will have to buy a couple of more, because I think I'm going to have to be wearing these for a long time. You know, I have been doing this for almost 8 years with Ronna Bazzini when we started Protect Our Public Schools. And I know we're tired. We're both old. I know I'm a little bit younger than Ronna, but I'll be 80 on my next birthday. So I've been doing this for a long, long time. But I'll tell you, this election is a game changer. It is something that is sweeping the country. Do you realize that 11 of Governor DeSantis' endorsed candidates lost? People do not want this culture war. I don't want it. The people of Sarasota don't want it. The people of Florida don't want it. The people of this country don't want it. This election ushered in kindness and love. And I really hope that this will be the context of everything that we do from now on. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Howman. And then Steve Russell.
Thank you for allowing me to speak. My name is Dr. Sonia Howman. This is a very good day for democracy. But more importantly, this is a very, very good day for the Sarasota students. Every student. My hope for the future is that we will learn to care about each other even if we don't agree. My hope is that we will realize the truth of the statement that it is easier to build strong children than it is to repair broken men and women. Every child, every day. I have unending appreciation for the students that come here week after week to tell their stories. Their call for equal treatment, the people that come from the county that just ask for you to treat them with a little dignity and respect. I appreciate them so much. I appreciate their calls for academic freedom, that they can read and learn a full American history, including African American history, Asian American history, and that they can argue for academic freedom to read what they want. Because to recognize yourself in a book, as I've said over and over again, is a gift. It can be life-changing. It can save someone's life. I know you don't believe that, but it happened for my child. So that's how it is. So when I first came here, I don't live here. I just came because I wanted to see the children, the LGBTQ children, respected and treated with dignity and respect. The trans children treated with dignity and respect. Not to have people posting horrible things about them on their Facebook page. Do you hear me? Ms. Ziegler, do you hear me? I didn't know anyone. I'm not an activist, but I joined C. I joined Equality Florida on your recommendation. And hey, I'm gonna lose my hair soon because I'm really sick, but I did this.
Steve Russell.
Hi. Students Before Politics went out in this election. We're still watching, we're paying attention, and we're not going away. We will continue to hold you accountable when you do not operate in the best interest of our students. Congratulations, Tom. Congratulations, Liz. Congratulations to all the students of Sarasota County. They all went out during this election. And lastly, night-night, Karen Rose.
Thank you. That concludes our public comments. We now move into board member comments. Mr. Edwards?
Thank you. I want to talk about free lunch and breakfast. From the last meeting to this one, I received several emails regarding the vote that I cast, so I want to talk about that. But I also want to start by saying that I know that we do not have children who leave the lunchroom hungry. That does not happen. So that's the first thing that I want to assure the public, that there are people in the lunchroom that are paying attention to behaviors, paying attention to the children, and making sure that no one leaves the lunchroom hungry and or embarrassed. So that's number one. Number two, about 4 years ago when I came to the Sarasota County School Board, Mitzi Corcoran was the CFO at the time, and I learned that we had to take an additional $5 million out of our general fund and apply it to the lunch program. And you can find it online if you were so inclined to see it. But I said at the time, 4 years ago, that is not sustainable. We have to find another way to fund this program. And then COVID happened, and then the termination of Dr. Asplin and blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to go running down that list. So the vote came, so I need to be able to explain a couple of things about when I personally cast a vote. I can't and won't speak for my colleagues, but there was legacy and history, and there are a ton of questions that I do. I think you can see me in a workshop. I ask a ton of questions. When I'm in my one-on-ones and prior to a vote, I call around, I speak to the staff, and I know the character of Sarah Dan in terms of, that's our food and beverage service director. She's amazing. And I said at the workshop when we discussed it, if she could give it all away, if she could figure out a way to do that, and she's been doing it for a long time, she would. So I trust her, and there's the key word, I trust her. I trust the superintendent kicked all of those tires, lifted the hood, and none of the programs that are bantied around, and I appreciate the research that our community did, fit exactly our profile. We are an odd profile. We have a certain size. We fall into a kind of Title I. There's a lot of dynamics that go into how those lunches get paid and how free and reduced works and how other counties have been able to manage it. So the second part of this is that I got several emails that said I could have merely just voted no and the public would have heard me. The public would have said, oh, but I promise you, from the day I've been here and moving forward, I don't play politics. For one, you have to trust my vote. And if I played politics, you wouldn't trust me because you'd always wonder if I was playing politics. But more importantly, they have to learn to trust me. I won't throw away a vote politically just to oppose them because we're on the other side. I won't leave them holding the bag. Even though I disagreed with their Charter School for USA vote, I always say, but their rationale was they didn't want to pay legal fees. I don't agree with that. I would have fought it. But I always tell you the truth. And I want them to trust that when I cast a vote or I make a comment or I try to persuade them that there's rationale behind it. So I want to finish with that comment by saying there are conversations that are ongoing. There is a meeting that's set up with really wonderful people that can bring ideas and suggestions and out-of-the-box thinking to the conversation. I don't want to go further than that, but I want you to know that from my seat, that conversation isn't done. And I needed to explain why I cast the votes the way I do. Thank you.
Ms. Sigler?
Thank you. I wanted to also congratulate Mr. Edwards and Mrs. Barker. I will say that having served on this board for quite some time, their elections are volatile, to say the least. I think we said earlier that it's not for the faint of heart for anyone. But my commitment has always been, no matter who fills these seats, to work together. We will have disagreements, but we'll do so respectfully. And I hope that that's loud and clear. I want to address a couple things that were said. I want to echo, I know she's not here today, but I want to say to Mrs. Rose, you know, I know that, again, a lot of things I try not to be on social media too much, so I don't know, but I think there's a lot of snippets and mistaken things that are put forward. But today's workshop was a very good example of the things that I know drives Mrs. Rose, not in past tense. And it's the data and it's academic excellence and accountability. And I think that when I look at where our district has gone, and quite frankly, in 18 months or so, it's phenomenal, and it is a testament, a lot of to hard decisions that I believe she put forward in front of this board to make to ensure that students were put at the forefront. And I want to commend her for that, because I think sometimes the noise can drown that out, and it really does rest upon the great leadership that Superintendent Connor and your team have done. Today was just, again, an exceptional example of that, and it makes me so proud to see what the future holds for this district. One piece that we were discussing, and I know we will probably have a upcoming workshop on it, diving in a little bit more as it relates to charter schools. I know Mr. Edwards had brought that forward. I know there was a member of public comment wanted to address that. And I wanted to highlight, because I said that something about all of our students, all of these students are our community students. And what I mean by that is truly that our community makes up a variety of students that sometimes are in a public school, sometimes district managed, sometimes they're in charter, sometimes they're private, and it will cycle around. What I have seen today was a perfect demonstration of the first time that I believe in parents making informed decision, and I want to applaud the superintendent and the chief, O'Day, for putting forward very specific details on where each school stands. I think that really helps families understand where the districts, each school is succeeding. There are different rules that charter schools get to abide by, whether they participate in certain educational processes that we are implementing is really up to them. But I think all of those are really going to provide a lot more transparency. And I think all of us, and if I want to take in what I hear a lot of people say over the years about charter schools, but we want a level playing field. And I know that's there's some elements that are still a little complex as it pertains to legislature, but the more we can lift that veil and allow the families to see specifically how they're doing, what they're doing, I think that allows for a more informed decision. And I think ultimately that just helps the student succeed. So that, I just wanted to clarify that. And I believe I wrapped up everything. I'm looking forward to talking to the STAR students, and thank you for everyone coming. And well done, Mr. Enos.
Oh, thank you. Next, Ms. Marinelli. Okay, thank you. Well, I would just, a couple of quick things. If everybody wants to see exactly where this district has gone within a year, which is monumental, I'd really, really request, if you did not look at the workshop today, if you just look in reference to where we are with the school grades and the difference of the amount of growth that has happened within the last year, as well as if you look at the ESE, to the amount of where we are organizationally as we move forward, and already in the graphing that was presented into where we are with just a year under our belt. One of my comments says, I can't wait for next year, because obviously as our teachers, which is ultimately what drives everything that we do, that as they become more comfortable with it and they are within the systems, it can only lead to Sarasota being better and better. And if you look at the few schools that are ahead of us, which it's Lafayette County, because I did say Lafayette once and I was corrected. They have two schools. It's Lafayette County, and you look at Walton. They don't have any charter schools, which we are responsible for, but at the end of the day, we have 40 or 56 schools and 15 charters. It's a lot different. So really what we're doing here in Sarasota County really is what's making the difference. The second thing that I would say is obviously with school, especially with parents, there's a lot of chatter out there about social media. I would say make sure, as I've said it before, as the school district, everybody is starting across the United States. Everybody make sure that you're monitoring it, especially if the students come forward. Say, if you see something, say something, because we need to make sure that we do something, because ultimately it takes the entire community in order to come forward when there's something that potentially could be bad, whether it's suicidal ideation or homicidal ideation. We need to make sure that we're at the forefront of that, and that's my message on safety all the time, especially with the new 1473 that's been implemented. At Sarasota, I can tell you, especially from the board, for Mr. Edwards, Ms. Ziegler, Ms. Rode, Ms. Marinelli, safety is utmost important to our faculty, as well as our teachers, as well as our students, and when it comes forward in learning. So at the end of the day, we appreciate that. Again, to the community, I know in Laurel Meadows lost, it's total devastation out there. I have lots of friends that live out there. There are my thoughts and prayers, especially as we're moving forward. I think there's only one house that's actually occupied that's out there. Everything else is utter devastation, and those families have to rebuild, and lots of kids live in that neighborhood over there. So just know that we're doing everything. I know Mr. Connor spoke on it. If the school district can do anything for you and the families, please let us know. With that, we're going to go ahead, and our next scheduled school board meeting is going to be Tuesday, September 3rd at 6 p.m. And if seeing nothing else, we'll be adjourned. School board members will then speak to the STAR students. We'll see you on September 3rd.